Hello, my name is Dr. Michael Greger. I am walking on treadmill because sedentary behavior is no good for us. It's not enough to just exercise every day, but we don't want to be sitting, prolonged sitting for 6 or more hours a day. Even if you then go out to the gym after work, is associated with increased all-cause mortality, meaning living a significantly shorter life. So it's important. And if for some reason you are forced to sit all day, like a truck driver or something, make sure to take frequent breaks, and so you can get that blood circulating throughout your body. We don't want blood stagnating in our lower limbs, which can affect our artery function, and that's what we think the mechanism is for increased cardiovascular disease risk. And the reason that I do what I do actually goes back to my grandmother. I was just a kid when my grandmother was diagnosed with end-stage heart disease and sent home to die. She already had so many bypass surgeries, basically run out of plumbing at some point. Confined to a wheelchair, crushing chest pain, her life was over at age 65. Then she heard about this guy, Nathan Pritikin, one of our early lifestyle medicine pioneers. And what happened next is actually detailed in Pritikin's biography. He talks about Frances Greger, my grandmother. They wheeled her in, and she walked out. So she was given a medical death sentence at age 65. Thanks to a healthy diet, was able to enjoy another 31 years on this planet till age 96, to continue to enjoy 6 grandkids, including me. That's why I went into medicine. That's why I practice lifestyle medicine. Why I started the website nutritionfacts.org. Why I wrote the book How Not to Die. Why all the proceeds from all my books are all donated to charity. I just want to do for everyone's family what Pritikin did for my family. My book, How Not to Die, is broken up into really 2 sections. The first half is I just go through 15 chapters, and each of the 15 leading causes of death, talking about the role diet may play in arresting, preventing, or reversing many of our leading causes of death. But I didn't want it to just be a reference book. I wanted to be a practical guide to make, day-to-day grocery store type decisions. So that really became the second half of the book, where I center my recommendations around a daily dozen checklist of all the healthiest of healthy foods I encourage the people to fit into their daily routine. So not just fruits and vegetables every day, but berries, the healthiest fruits, and dark green leafy vegetables, the healthiest types of vegetables every day. I encourage people to have a tablespoon of ground flaxseed every day, quarter teaspoon of turmeric. I talk about the best sweeteners, how much exercise to get every day, what to drink. Again, just trying to inspire people to include some of the just healthiest of healthy foods into their daily diet. And it's available as a free app on iPhone, Android, Dr. Greger's Daily Dozen. You can go through and keep a tally and see how many check boxes you can check every day, as kind of a fun way to include some of the healthiest foods and kind of naturally just kind of exclude some of the less healthy options. The most important thing about making healthy dietary changes is, first of all, it doesn't matter what you eat on birthday, holidays, special occasions. It's really the day-to-day stuff that adds up. On a day-to-day basis, we really should try to eat healthy. And what does that mean? That means trying to minimize our intake of meat, eggs, dairy, and processed junk, and maximize your intake of fruits and vegetables and whole grains and legumes, beans, split peas, chickpeas, lentils, nuts and seeds, mushrooms, herbs, and spices, basically real food that grows out of the ground. These are our healthiest choices. But look, if there's just 3 things to first add to one's diet, it'd probably be berries, the healthiest fruits, greens, the healthiest vegetables, and then legumes, some kind of bean, split pea, chickpea, lentil. Those are really some of the healthiest foods that people don't eat enough of. And then if there were just 3 foods I would first remove from your diet, really the worst of the worst, it would be anything with trans fats, those partially hydrogenated oils, which have been largely removed from the U.S. food supply, but still available around much of the world. Number 2 would be processed meat, bacon, ham, hot dogs, lunch meat, sausage. We know that these foods cause colorectal cancer in human beings, which is the second leading cancer killer after lung cancer. So if you don't smoke, it is your number 1 cancer killer. And number 3 would be liquid candy, soda. Really remove sugar sweetened beverages from daily routine. Just making those few steps, adding those 3 healthy items, removing those 3 unhealthy items, go a long way towards eating healthier. How Not to Die. I talk about a modeling study that suggests if half of Americans, just half, added a single serving of fruits or vegetables to their daily diet, we would prevent every year 20,000 cases of cancer. Isn't that amazing? That's how powerful fruits and vegetables are. But because we're talking about conventional fruits and vegetables, pesticide-laden fruits and vegetables, the added pesticide burden on the American public would cause 10 cancer cases. So overall, we would just prevent 19,990 cases of cancer if we did that. So that gives you a sense of the tremendous benefit to eating more produce versus the tiny bump in risk from the pesticides. Now, you say, wait a second, why accept any risk at all? Why not get all benefit, no risk by choosing organic? Great, but we should never let concern over pesticides prevent us from stuffing our face with as many fruits and vegetables as possible.
A Notary to You is a family business locally owned and operated, serving the South Bay since 2004. We are located at 3128 Pacific Coast Highway in the city of Torrance. Our services include notary services at our office or at your location, live scan services for DOJ and FBI background checks, hard copy fingerprints, marriage licenses and weddings, either just a simple and private I do at our office, or a personalized ceremony at our chapel so you can share your special day with your friends and family. We also have ministers that will travel to your location. In addition, we offer apostille services and document legalization for international use, translation services and certifications, passport pictures, fax services, copies, and much more. We have 19 years of experience and great reviews from satisfied customers. There is always a notary on staff, and we also speak Spanish. Our clients sit at a desk, so they don't have to stand while we conduct business. We also have a separate room to offer our customers privacy when necessary. A Notary to You for all your notary needs. We are open Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. and Saturdays from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. We also provide after-hour services by appointment. Call or text 310-801-9462.
The best way to get our nutrition is from the ground, from the soil, and from sunlight, vitamin D. But there is one vitamin that's not made by plants, not made by animals either, but made by little microbes, bacteria that blanket the earth, called vitamin B12. Because we live in such a sanitary world, now that we chlorinate our water supply, well, you don't get a lot of B12 in our water anymore. Don't get a lot of cholera either. It's a good thing we live in a nice sanitary world. Our fellow great apes get all the B12 they need eating bugs, dirt, and feces. I prefer supplements. So 2,000 micrograms of vitamin B12 supplement by the name of cyanocobalamin. Once a week, get you all the B12 you need, costs less than $5 a year, but critically important for anyone eating a healthy diet. But otherwise, we can get vitamin D from the sun, and we can get all other vitamins and minerals from the soil by eating plants. We are learning more and more about the importance of our gut microbiome in the health of not only our gastrointestinal system, but also our immune health, even our brain health, because our good gut bugs take the prebiotics, we eat them, the fiber and the resistant starch found predominantly in whole grains and beans, and convert them into these short-chain fatty acids like butyrate, which are absorbed from our colon into our system, circulate throughout our bloodstream, cross the blood-brain barrier, up into our brain, have mood-elevating effects, anti-inflammatory effects, appetite-suppressing effects. That's one of the reasons fiber-containing foods are so good for us. There's no need to take probiotics, the bacteria themselves. The bacteria live down there. It's a matter of feeding them healthy food so they will be happy and multiply all on their own. Coffee is one of those things that people feel very strongly about. In the chapters in How Not to Die, liver disease, depression, and Parkinson's, I talk about the benefits of coffee for the liver, mind, and brain. Coffee drinkers do tend to live longer, have lower rates of cancer overall, but coffee may worsen acid reflux disease, bone loss, glaucoma, and urinary incontinence. So bottom line, I don't recommend drinking coffee, but really only because every cup of coffee is a lost opportunity to drink something even healthier, and that would be a cup of green tea. If you're actually eating the green tea leaves, so if you're actually like throwing your green tea into a smoothie, or you're drinking matcha, which is just powdered green tea, and you're actually eating the tea leaves themselves, then it's important to get a lead-free source or a low-lead source, because unfortunately the tea plantations in China, they have a lot of coal-powered power plants, and that distributes lots of heavy metals in the area, and they only relatively recently got rid of leaded gas. There's a lot of lead in the soil, but the lead does not leach out of the leaves. So you can take Chinese green tea, put it in hot water, and have a wonderful cup of tea, and then throw away the tea bag, and the lead gets thrown away with the tea bag. But if you actually eat the tea, then you can actually get that lead. And so that's why if you're actually eating the tea, like matcha, then I would get matcha or green tea from Japan as opposed to China, just because there's significantly less lead, particularly if you're pregnant or breastfeeding. The number one healthiest beverage is water, and then beyond water, there's green tea, and then an herbal tea called hibiscus tea, also known as Roselle or Jamaica tea. It's kind of the zinger in red zinger tea. It's that beautiful ruby red color. It's very tart, not only delicious, but significantly benefits blood pressure, which is one of the leading causes of death. So 2 strong cups of hibiscus tea every morning worked as well as the leading blood pressure lowering drug, and of course doesn't only have kind of positive side effects. So I encourage people to give it a try. This is Dr. Greger in the kitchen, where I take the science and put it into practice. Today I'm going to share with you my new favorite dessert, matcha ice cream. Matcha is powdered green tea leaves. What's so great about green tea? Its consumption is associated with lower rates of heart attacks, strokes, and premature death, proven in randomized controlled trials to prevent precancerous colon polyps from developing and precancerous prostate lesions from turning into full-blown cancer, and so antiviral. There's an FDA-approved green tea compound ointment used to reverse warts caused by the HPV virus. That's why in my daily dozen checklist, it is one of the healthiest beverages, along with water and hibiscus tea. Take 2 frozen super ripe bananas and put them in a food processor or blender, alongside with a ½ teaspoon of the matcha tea. Now, more if you can stand it, but it's pretty strong stuff. So why don't we start there and blend it up. Blended frozen bananas take on this perfect, rich, creamy ice cream texture. Now, the riper, the better. You want lots of little brown spots on there. Look at that beautiful green color here. All right, I'm going to add a little, maybe a little mint garnish here. The matcha actually makes the blended bananas taste better somehow. So we're talking just 2 whole plant foods. One, a dark green leafy, makes a gourmet, decadent tasting dessert. The more you eat, the healthier you are. That's the way desserts should be. If you want more recipes like this, incorporating some of the healthiest foods on the planet, check out my new cookbook, the How Not to Die cookbook. I think the ice cream recipe in the book actually uses strawberries, almond butter, and vanilla extract instead of the matcha, but delicious either way. This makes a great New Year, New You kind of gift. All the proceeds I receive from the sales of my books, DVDs, speaking engagements, all goes to charity. I just want you to be healthier.
For family activities that are a blast, nothing beats Radio Control Action. Bring in the family and check out the latest RC models from top brands. We've got cars, boats, planes, helis, and more for beginners and experts. You can't beat scorching the track, making waves, or tearing up the skies with cool RC models. It's a great way to bring the family together and start a hobby that will last a lifetime. Stop in today.
Pacific Coast Hobbies on PCH, South Bay's best hobby shop.
Mailbox Rentals by a Notary to You is located at 3126 Pacific Coast Highway in the city of Torrance. Are you tired of your mail getting lost, damaged, or stolen? Stop Porch Pirates. Have your packages and mail safely delivered to us and get a real mailing address instead of a P.O. box. We also give you a private access code. Pick up your mail whenever is more convenient for you, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We are located in a safe neighborhood, and we have security cameras for added protection. We also have workstations. You can rent a space full-time, part-time, or just for the day. We give you access to a secured Wi-Fi connection and semi-private restrooms that are well-maintained. In an office with storefront visibility and plenty of parking. Our prices are very competitive and will match any promotion or discount offered by local competitors. For more information, call 310-257-6824. Mailbox Rentals by a Notary to You. Just a phone call away.
The food industry has, because there's been so much interest in plant-based eating, the food industry has given us lots of plant-based junk food, lots of vegan junk foods. And I can get vegan donuts and vegan cream cheese and vegan, all manner of vegan, terrible stuff for your health. And so it used to be, if you were vegan, what does that mean? You shopped in the produce aisle, right? Because where else? There's no other food, right? But now there are all sorts of packaged foods packed with salt and sugar and added fat that just aren't good for us. But because the industry can't make money selling produce, right? Because produce goes bad. It's like the worst thing to sell. Right? There's no markup. You can't brand anything. It rots on the shelf. What you want is a little snack cake that lasts for months on the shelf. And so now there's vegan versions of all that. We should not be confused. The healthiest foods are still the ones as grown, out of the ground. That's the way to do it. We still, So go to the farmer's market, stick to the produce aisle, or the bulk beans and bulk whole grains aisle, and skip all that vegan junk. And so much of the benefits that we see in vegan populations. So for example, the Adventist studies going back since the 1970s, we have these tremendous health benefits. It's not just because they're cutting out eggs and dairy, it's also because they're eating more fruits and vegetables. They're eating more healthy plant foods. And it's hard to separate out the benefits. You get the benefits from getting rid of unhealthy food, but also you need to replace that with healthy food and not replace it with processed junk. I encourage people to get all their nutrients from whole plant foods, or as many as possible. And so, where are you going to get sugar from? I want you to get sugar from fruit and from sweet potatoes. Where are you going to get your protein? Not from protein powder, isolated protein. Same thing with fat. Where are you going to get your fat from? Not from oil, where you've stripped out all the nutrition, most of the nutrition. You want to get it from walnuts and other nuts and seeds and avocados. You want to get it from whole sources. It comes prepackaged with all sorts of other nutrients. That's the way nature intended us. And when we just strip out the kind of bare macronutrients, and have basically 100% fat with a few fat soluble nutrients floating around, then, we have basically the most calorie dense food on the planet, about 120 calories per tablespoon, which is not what we need in a country where the average BMI is 28.6. The average American is nearly obese now. So the last thing we need is kind of an empty calorie food like added sugars or added fat in the form of oil. Canned goods can be a super convenient and inexpensive way to get healthy food into your diet. Same thing with frozen foods. If you look at my freezers, half frozen berries, half frozen greens. Now that I have an electric pressure cooker, I've been making my beans from scratch, but used to get, canned beans by the case. The only thing you want to make sure that if you're getting the canned beans, you want to have no salt added canned beans. Any kind of canned fruit, you want to have no sugar added. The industry likes to throw in all sorts of garbage. You just got to read the labels, but no salt added canned beans are super healthy. And how convenient. A few twists of a can opener and you can mash some beans on a toasted corn tortilla with a little salsa, and you're ready to go. Oftentimes, frozen fruits and vegetables can actually be healthier than so-called fresh, which, that fresh may have been sitting on a ship for 2 weeks coming from New Zealand or something. And whereas many frozen produce is actually frozen the day of picking, and so can end up having more nutrients, and it's available year-round. And not often easy to get inexpensive berries year-round, but you can get that with frozen berries. And the nice thing about the frozen greens is they're already pre-chopped, pre-washed, ready to go. There's a convenience factor, it's cheaper, and may actually be healthier. Now, ideally, locally grown, fresh, right? If you can pick them from your own garden, yes, that's better. But for most of us, particularly those living in a city, frozen greens are a great way to grow. If I had to describe my perfect meal, I would whip out my Daily Dozen app, Dr. Greger's Daily Dozen, and make sure I went through all those checklists and got all those healthy foods in there. And in fact, I've written 2 cookbooks, the How Not to Diet cookbook and the How Not to Diet cookbook. Lots of recipes. And not only is every single recipe healthy, but every single ingredient of every single recipe is healthy, including all the desserts. Say, wait a second, how do I make something sweet without sugar, or salty without salt? Those are some of the challenges we had in putting together those cookbooks. Check them out at your local public library. The sugar in fruit comes prepackaged with the antioxidants as nature intended. That is the way it should come, and so does not have the adverse effects that isolated, added, or so-called free sugars have. And so the problem with free sugars, added sugars, like drinking soda all day, is it fattens your liver, increases your triglycerides, it's fat in the bloodstream, and increases blood pressure, triglycerides, and liver fat. However, you can have people eat literally 20 servings of fruits a day, even more sugar than you get drinking, a couple liters of Coca-Cola every day, and you don't get the liver fat, you don't get the high blood pressure, you don't get the triglycerides in your blood. In fact, you actually get benefits from eating that much fruit. My book, How Not to Die, shares the good news. We have tremendous power over our health, destiny, and longevity. The vast majority of premature death and disability is preventable with a plant-based diet and other healthy lifestyle choices. But then there's also How Not to Diet. With so much nutritional noise and nonsense these days, I just wanted there to finally be an evidence-based diet book. And to that end, I cite literally thousands of studies digging up every possible tip, trick, tweak, technique proven to accelerate the loss of body fat, to give people every possible advantage, and basically build the optimal weight loss solution from the ground up. And coming out December 2023, How Not to Age, while talking about all the new exciting longevity research, and hopefully I'll be speaking to a city near you.
A Notary to You is a family business locally owned and operated, serving the South Bay since 2004. We are located at 3128 Pacific Coast Highway in the city of Torrance. Our services include notary services at our office or at your location, live scan services for DOJ and FBI background checks, hard copy fingerprints, marriage licenses and weddings, either just a simple and private "I do" at our office, or a personalized ceremony at our chapel so you can share your special day with your friends and family. We also have ministers that will travel to your location. In addition, we offer apostille services and document legalization for international use, translation services and certifications, passport pictures, fax services, copies, and much more. We have 19 years of experience and great reviews from satisfied customers. There is always a notary on staff, and we also speak Spanish. Our clients sit at a desk, so they don't have to stand while we conduct business. We also have a separate room to offer our customers privacy when necessary. A Notary to You for all your notary needs. We are open Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. and Saturdays from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. We also provide after-hour services by appointment. Call or text 310-801-9462.
NutritionFacts.org is a free, nonprofit, science-based public service providing daily updates on latest nutrition research via bite-sized videos. We now have videos on more than 2,000 health topics with new videos and articles uploaded every day at NutritionFacts.org. There's so much confusing information out there, and that's why you really need to demand anytime anyone makes any statement of fact about something as life and death important for yourself and your family as to what to eat 3 times a day, you really need to demand where they got it from. Obviously, they weren't born with this information. People need to cite their sources. We can't just rely on, quote unquote gurus to just, make some pronouncements. Say, well, wait a minute. Why do you think this particular food is good for you or bad for you? That's why NutritionFacts.org, we don't just tell you the source, we show you the source right in front of you. There's the quote, there's the graph, there's the table, and then we have links in the sources cited section. PDF, you click on it, you download it, read it yourself. So you can make sure I didn't take anything out of context. When it's something that critically important, then it's really a matter of demanding that we see evidence. If there's anything, any decision in life to make based on evidence, it should be how to the health and well-being of our family. I think it's up to each of us to make our own decisions as to what to eat and how to live. But we should make these choices consciously, right? Educating ourselves about the predictable consequences of our actions. It's important that we just be fully informed about the potential risks involved, and I hope to be able to do that so that you and your family can live the longest, healthiest life.